welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. It's Tuesday. Hope your day's off to a great start. We have a big studio audience here watching the show today. We got John, we got Anissa, we got Bryce, we got Lauren. Give them a round of applause. Yay! Please, please, please. Too much. Okay, we've got a big show in store for you, but before we get to that, I want to tell you how you can find the show. You can go to WNCT.com and click on the East Daily Download tab, and you can watch this show, yesterday's show, or even tomorrow's show, so you can go to the future on the website for this show. Also, you can go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the East Daily Download hashtag. We'd love for you to follow us and share pictures and videos. Okay, there's a lot to come. Let's see what's coming up in just a little bit. Today, when we hit the road on the East Daily Download, we take a look at physician pay. In entertainment, we bring you a preview of the movie The Goldfinch. And we continue our visit with a Time for Science. Wow, that is an awful lot ahead. But right now, it's time to eat. It's Down Eats. Let's go to, where are we going?
Going to King Street, Windsor.
Windsor for Heritage House. Let's go.
Take a drive along South King Street in Windsor, and it's hard to miss the crowds coming and going.
It's very important to be here in Windsor.
This is the Heritage House restaurant.
Oh my goodness, it goes back for years.
Back 27 years to be precise, a place that hits the spot for locals.
I think of good home cooking, I think of good service, and I think of what they do for the community.
First up on the menu, the food.
Well, they're going to always get Southern food, and it's real Southern food.
Rachel Pierce owns the Heritage House. Her love for cooking came at a young age, growing up on a farm right here in Bertie County.
I did not like to be out in the tobacco fields, so I had an option of either staying at home and cooking or being out there in the tobacco fields. So that's how I learned to cook.
And a lot of what she cooked back then is on the menu here today.
Fried chicken, collards, and cabbage, and string beans.
Just to name a few, more than a dozen vegetables and 5 different meats can be found on the buffet daily. But there's also lighter fare.
I usually get a salad. I am saying a lot to you. I usually get a chef salad, add grilled chicken or shrimp.
Windsor native Waylon Bridges as a Heritage House regular.
So it's probably about 3-4 times a week, to be honest.
We have people come for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
So yes, the food is good, but that's not all they're serving up here.
Yes, it is. It's more than just a meal. It's fellowship, too. Everybody has a good time, and when you come out here, you always find someone that you can talk to. Even the girls that work in the restaurant are so friendly.
Rachel has good waitresses. There's a little redhead up there at that cash register that waits on you and knows what you want before you can get in the door half the time. Good service.
And it's those happy customers that makes the long hours worth it for Rachel.
I honestly love it. And I'm older, but I thoroughly love it, and I'll never quit. I'll never quit.
It's just the right recipe for Bertie County natives who aren't shy about sharing their love for a place they call their own.
Hey, come through. Come through. I'm trying to tell you, you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Good food, excellent people, good customer service. I'm trying to tell you, you will not be disappointed.
Now downloading Tech Beat Tuesday.
I've been a Gmail user for more than a decade and just recently discovered some keyboard tips and tricks that will definitely save me time. The first thing you need to do is turn on the shortcuts in your Gmail account. Click the gear in the top right corner and go to Settings. Scroll down toward the bottom and click the button to turn keyboard shortcuts on. Then scroll to the very bottom and click Save Changes. Now you're ready to go. Try an easy one, like hitting the letter C to compose a new message. Shift-C will compose a new message in a new window. When you're in the middle of an email thread, hit R to reply to it, F to forward it. Tab plus Enter will send a message. Now these tips are just a start. There are dozens upon dozens of keyboard shortcuts. For a complete list of Gmail tips and tricks, click the Help question mark in the top right corner. From there, expand the Read and Organize Email section and click Keyboard Shortcuts for Gmail. In San Francisco, I'm Kara Suboy with CNET for CBS News.
Welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Tuesday morning. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to have a special drop-by visitor. More on that in just a second. Also, it is going to be The Goldfinch. It's a new movie, getting a lot of acclaim and talk from critics. We're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of that. But right now, why don't we get in the car and why don't we drive out to A Time for Science and talk to those great people out there about what they do and how they're helping kids learn science.
As Director of Astronomy, I oversee all the operations of our planetarium and our observatory. I also oversee all the astronomy outreach we do with our mobile planetarium, where we take it to schools and libraries and other community events to help educate people on the beauty and wonder of the night sky. So during our typical planetarium show, we spend some time just exploring the night sky, talking about the constellations and planets that are out on that particular evening that you visited. And we'll watch a little movie as well. We have a whole library of full dome documentaries, mostly centered around astronomy, but there's a couple other topics as well that we can get into, like weather and some natural environment stuff as well. It's ultimately, to me, all about connecting kids with the universe that they're a part of. One thing I've run into a lot is people think that the universe and space is out there, like it's separate from what we're experiencing here on Earth, but the Earth is very much a planet orbiting a star that's a part of a galaxy. We're a part of the universe. We don't simply just exist aside from it. So during the weekdays, we're always open for groups, school groups, private groups, summer groups to come and have a planetarium show along with some other activities like kayaking or trail hikes. We also have some public hours, primarily all throughout the year through our Starry Night event, which we do on one Friday evening each month. We have a night sky tour in the planetarium. We watch one of those full dome videos, and then we go into the observatory to look at the things in real life that we talked about in the planetarium. And we also have some public hours on Saturdays. It's seasonal. Right now, we'll be doing planetarium shows on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You know, planetariums are very special events. There's a little joke in the planetarium community. You come twice, once as a child and once as a parent. I hope to definitely change the trend on that. But kids definitely, and kids at heart, you know, adults as well, definitely get a lot of enjoyment and fun out of it. But there's nothing like filling the whole sky up with all the constellations and just the oohs and ahs that come with that, and then really rattling people in their seats as we blast off and travel faster than the speed of light to Jupiter. That's one of my favorite tricks to do in the planetarium.
If you're looking for ways to stay up to date on the latest health trends, I've got one for you, and it's kombucha, a flavorful fermented drink that is simply flying off the shelves nowadays. Here's why. Kombucha is a bittersweet tea fermented with a living culture of bacteria and yeast, similar to the living organisms found in yogurt or sauerkraut. This drink is the latest trend in the health world due to the living cultures which, once drank, strengthen your gut health. Megan Flynn, a registered dietitian and director of communications at the Fresh Market, spoke to 9 on Your Side today on a phone interview confirming kombucha's health benefits.
The benefits of kombucha provide probiotics, and that is translated to gut health. So you might see that you just are not as bloated, or, you know, you're a little bit more regular.
This health trend is becoming more popular in stores across the country, and more specifically, a push for healthier alternative beverages. In terms of kombucha sales, I spoke with the Fresh Market's director, Dwight Richmond, and he emphasized the growth over the past few years. Fresh Markets across the country have made room for over 60 new kombucha brands in store to continue with the latest trend.
A health standpoint, the only concern I would have as a dietitian would be not from any kombucha you'd buy in a grocery store, but when some of the home-brewed kombuchas, because there it's not as controlled with the fermentation process. There is a risk of bacteria or mold forming if it's not properly stored. So I would recommend people buy kombucha from a grocery store versus home brewing it.
Overall, in total, you can consume up to 12 ounces of kombucha a day. In Greenville, Kelsey O'Donnell, 9 on Your Side.
Hey, welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Tuesday morning. A quick reminder, you can find us at WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab, where you can watch this episode, yesterday's episode, or even tomorrow's episode. We post them as soon as they're done, so you can watch them in advance. Also, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is where you can find us on the old social media handles and use the East Daily Download hashtag. And right now, for instance, I'm on the East Daily Download Instagram page, and there's like pictures like of the team going out to the wood ducks. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk about physician pay. But right now, let's take a look at the new movie, The Goldfinch.
You're the boy, aren't you? The boy whose mother was killed.
A museum bombing changes Theo Decker's life forever in The Goldfinch. Oaks Fegley plays Theo as a boy. Ansel Elgort plays him as an adult.
I know you were there, and I know what else was in that room. The Goldfinch.
That day, Theo steals the small, priceless painting, his only remaining connection to his mother.
Miracle after miracle, it survives through centuries. Until you.
The A-list supporting cast includes Jeffrey Wright.
I was just trying to keep it safe.
It wasn't yours to keep!
Sarah Paulson, Luke Wilson, and Nicole Kidman.
I thought everything would be broken forever.
How do you move on from something that defines your life?
Before and after. Everything is before and after. In the middle is the painting.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
What is happening in Eastern North Carolina? I'm First Alert meteorologist Marquise Mita, and on this episode of Around the World, do you guys feel that? All right, I'm looking at these lights right now. They're beginning to shake, and I think we are actually in the middle of an earthquake. Oh, I'm looking at the pool right now, actually, and it looks like water is now spilling out of the pool. The ground is shaking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head to the Weather Center, and we'll pick things up back there before my feet get wet. Okay, wow, this is much better. Welcome to the Weather Center, where my feet are actually now dry. What you just saw was footage from a 7.1 magnitude earthquake that rippled through California last year. Shockwaves from this event showed that the epicenter was along the San Andreas Fault, but these waves could be felt by seismologists from all around the world. In order to get a better understanding of how earthquakes form, we'll have to look at the bigger picture and discuss the movement of tectonic plates across the Earth. Now, contrary to popular belief, the study of earthquakes does not fall underneath meteorology. Meteorologists like myself study the differential heating of the atmosphere and the weather phenomena that results from it. But the study of earthquakes would fall under the category of geology, which is the science that deals with the Earth's physical structure. In this case, we're referring to the dozen tectonic plates that give way to the shape and topography of the continents that we live on. The complex components of the planet that we inhabit can be broken down into four main parts. Now, these are the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. Now, if I was to shrink down the Earth to the size of, let's say, an apple, the crust that we live and roam upon could be represented by the apple's skin. In reality, the crust is about 5 miles thick, so this diagram does not completely do it justice. But give me 1 second, because this apple does look delicious. Now, what drives the shift of tectonic plates on the surface of the Earth is the liquid mantle that flows beneath it. Rock underground suddenly breaks along a fault. This sudden release of energy causes seismic waves that make the ground shake. When two blocks of rock or plates are rubbing against each other, they always stick due to the forces of friction, as opposed to just sliding smoothly over one another. The rocks catch on each other. Forces from opposite ends begin to push one another, but they don't allow any movement. After a while, the rocks break due to the potential energy that's built up. When the rocks break, an earthquake occurs. This example shows a subduction zone, which is the most deadly type of earthquake. This occurs when one fault slides underneath the other, causing land to rise significantly. The most common places that this occurs are in the Pacific Plate on the Californian crust and the Indian Plate that separates the subcontinent of India from Nepal. The scale used most frequently to measure earthquakes is called the Richter scale. This measures earthquakes on a magnitude from 0 all the way up to 10. To this day, there has never been an earthquake of a Category 10, but seismologists predict 1 out of the 500,000 yearly earthquakes to be a Category 8 or higher. Due to limitations from modern-day technology, scientists cannot pinpoint exactly where the next major earthquake will strike. But advancements in building code and infrastructure continue to make the world a safer place day by day by mitigating earthquake destruction. From the Weather Center, Marquise Mito, 9 on your side.
Roanoke Electric is restoring the power in stages throughout the night, and the cooling center will be open as long as they need to the public.
Aboard Camp Lejeune, Marines wear many hats, no matter whether it's on land or on sea. They continue to build their skills through training, ready to be called into action.
The state of Alabama has just passed a near-all ban on abortion. I spoke to several people here in Greenville about could or should something like that happen in North Carolina.
For more of these stories, visit us on our website at WNCT.com.
Dr. Teresa Rohr-Kirchgraber is a practicing MD and professor of clinical medicine and pediatrics. She believes her current job pays her fairly, but earlier in her career, that wasn't always the case.
When I was interviewing for a position and we were talking and negotiating about salary, in the middle of it, the person that I was interviewing with, he stopped and said, "Well, why do you need that much? What about your husband?"
Research shows there continues to be a pay disparity between female and male doctors. Pediatricians make an average of $190,000 a year, but a new study from the American Academy of Pediatrics found women make $51,000 a year less than their male colleagues. Even when adjusting for factors including women taking time off to have and raise children and more female pediatricians working part-time instead of full-time, women still make $8,000 less. Dr. Bobby Byrne is a study author and says female pediatricians are actually doing better than doctors in other fields.
And we're certainly doing better than the general population of people in the United States. So absolutely, this is still reflective of what's going on across our country.
Dr. Rohr-Kirchgraber is part of a program that teaches female physicians how to make sure they are getting paid fairly.
We've taken that program around the country. We need to learn how to negotiate. I think it should definitely be part of our standard of training.
It's hoped that training will lead to more pay equality in pediatrics. Lisa Mateo, CBS News, New York.
So this is how it all went down. When I was a kid, my mom would always say, "Kelly, you talk to everybody. It's like every day is the Kelly Clarkson show." Then the other day, I'm in the studio asking a lot of questions, and my engineer says, "What is this, like the Kelly Clarkson show?" Then I'm at a play date where the super cool mom says, "You should totally have a show." And I'm like, "Shut up," but in like a nice way. And then her daughter, who's like the cutest thing ever, says, "It's like there's always been a Kelly Clarkson show, but now it's on TV." And I'm like, totally.
The Kelly Clarkson Show.
Well, that'll wrap up another episode of the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. Hope you've had a great experience with the show. We will see you tomorrow. By the way, it is National Voter Registration Day today.
Excuse me, sir. Are you registered to vote?
Why, no, I'm not.
Oh, would you like to?
Absolutely. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This message is brought to you by the East Daily Download players. We hope you get registered to vote. You can go to the website right here on the screen and do it online. We will see you tomorrow. And don't forget, you can go to WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab to watch this or any of the episodes, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the East Daily Download hashtag. We will see you tomorrow.
To be able to provide a place for them to be able to come while they're going through those tragedies and take away some of those stresses that they have. When it comes to a hot meal, where they're going to lay their head at night.
If the Ron McDonald House did not exist, families would be living in waiting rooms. I love the interaction that we have with our families. When they're here, they get to take all those burdens away. It's really an awesome part of my job.
If your business would like to be featured in our new show, The East Daily Download, contact Joe Bullard at 252-355-8520 or jbullard@WNCT.com today and watch The East Daily Download weekdays at 7 on Eastern North Carolina CW. Wednesday, when we hit the road on the next edition of the East Daily Download, 10 p.m. anchor Angie Casada will join us for a new Q&A with AQ. The 39th season of Survivor kicks off tonight at 8 on WNCT 9 on your side. We're taking you behind the scenes. In our business profile, we spend some time with the Great Outdoor Provision Company. And WNCT 9 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson introduces us to this week's Weather Kit. So join us on Wednesday for an all-new The East Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.